Good evening, everyone. How many are alumni here? Alumni. So if I use this phrase, you'll know what to say, right? Because Sister taught it to you when you were here, right? Praise be Jesus Christ. I knew you would know it. I am the Sister Alexander Siegel. I'm the mission leader and campus minister of Immaculate Conception High School. I live right next door. As a Felician sister, I'm proud to be part of the legacy that is our school here. Our school, okay? Our school. And as long as your daughter is here and continues to graduate 50 years, 60 years down the line, it will remain our school, her school, part of that perpetual sisterhood. If you'd like to take it a step further with your daughter, just see me. I have vocation material too. Okay, I'm just saying, you know, the sisterhood goes beyond these four walls. Okay. We begin, as we begin all good things in Immaculate Conception, we begin calling upon our God in prayer. And we're going to read this together, okay? In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God of wisdom and might, we praise you for the wonder of our being, for mind, body, and spirit. Be with us as we begin a new school year at Immaculate. Help us to work and collaborate together for the good of all. Bless us, our daughters, the administration, their teachers and staff. Give them strength and grace, wisdom and knowledge as they search for understanding and peace. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception, Blessed Mary Angela. And I believe it is my honor to introduce Mrs. Jessica Catrona, Head of School and Dean of Student Life.
Thank you so much, Sister. Before I begin, I just want to take a moment to say how wonderful it is to see everybody's faces, even though we're wearing masks. It's just wonderful to be here, even those of you watching from home, remotely. It's just so wonderful that we can actually have this opportunity and to have your daughters in the building with us, all of them. So welcome tonight. And I'm going to start by just sharing with you a little background about myself, because I know some of you do know who I am. I've been in the school for many years. Although this is a new leadership position for me as head of school, I have been at Immaculate for 14 years. I did serve as a teacher for many years. I also served as a student council and yearbook advisor. And aside from those, so many other hats I have worn throughout my time here. So it is an honor and a privilege for me to stand here before you as the head of school, but it is also so humbling to know that I've had all those experiences being, like I said, an educator, a teacher, and being in the classroom with the students for many years and really knowing what that entails. So it has always been my mission and my goal, along with the Felician Sisters and all the amazing faculty and staff and administration here at IC, to make sure that your daughters have the best experience possible, no matter what role I was in, to make sure that their visions and their ideas are brought to life. It's not only about us and what the administration thinks needs to be done or for safety reasons have to be done. It's about what your daughters need as well and what they express to us that they need. So we always take that into consideration. And some of the ways we do that, we survey the students often, we send them Google Forms, we talk to them, we call them down to offices, and we have that line of communication. And that's really key in everything that I'm going to share with you tonight and what the teachers and the administration are going to share with you. Without that strong communication between students, myself, and also parents, it's a team effort. Success does not occur. So it's so important that tonight you just kind of sit back and listen, and if you have any questions for us, reach out. We are a phone call and email away. Never think that a question is silly or you don't want to ask something because you may not want to, you think it's offensive. There's nothing that you could share with us that we have not already heard at some given time. So please reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Our motto is always see something, say something. If you see something out of the ordinary of concern, you have a concern, again, Proactivity is so important. We don't want to be just reactive, we want to be proactive. So again, I thank you for being here, and I'm so excited myself to be in this role, and I'm so excited for your daughters. I really am, because what they've gone through in the last few years with everything going on with COVID and just the world in general, it's just so good to see them here smiling again, laughing. We may only see their eyes sometimes, but we know they're smiling and they're laughing. So, and that's a tribute to you as well, so thank you. We are now in our third year of the strategic plan, so we have a 5-year plan in place. This started, like I just stated, 5 years ago, and I wanted to share a little bit with you what has been accomplished thus far. And so some of the major aspects of the strategic plan that have been accomplished, we just recently had a facilities assessment completed. And I don't want to bore you with all the details. I'm just going to give you the nutshell version, and if you have any questions, you could ask me. But we had a company come in and assess the entire building from top to bottom, the tennis courts, anything you can think about. That is Immaculate Conception. And we got a very detailed report. And so we're going to be moving forward with a very detailed plan on how we are going to improve some areas of the building. Yes, we have some amazing areas already, a student wellness center. We have a new implemented weight room. We have so many exciting things happening. We have a new gym floor that was just installed last year. But we still have some work to do, and we are always looking to put our best foot forward and to really make Immaculate Conception be the best that it can be. So that facilities assessment report is something that my administrative team and I have already received, and we are working on a plan year by year on how we can make our facilities that much better. Service. Our service in the past was service hours, meaning that students would have to, by the time they graduate Immaculate Conception, have X amount of service hours. At this time, we have switched to experience-based service. And we always ask the students, what do you think that means? And they understand fully that it means more that the experience they gain from service and sharing and being able to express what that experience was with us and with others is more important than how many hours you completed. So we did a total shift from logging in hours for a graduation requirement to doing a capstone project senior year and being able to present, focusing on those communication skills again, present in front of their peers and faculty what they got out of their service during their time at Immaculate, 4 years. We provide them with many service opportunities, but we also provide them with resources that they can go out on their own and do their own service experience as well. So we encourage and ask for your feedback. If you know of places that your daughters can do service, if your jobs are letting people in, your careers are letting people in to do service hours, please share that with me and with my team, because we would love to create more experiences for the girls. And also sometimes, because of COVID restrictions, we're only limited to certain places that we can bring them at this time. So again, if you do have any places of experience or workplaces to share with us, we're all open for that as well. You could also see on our website some of the examples of the presentations young ladies did last year, the seniors. They are under Student Life, I believe, and you can check out some of their projects and see the amazing service that they have completed. Student Advisory Program is a program I'm especially proud of. I actually was asked to spearhead this program 2 years ago, and Student Advisory, the concept behind it, and again, you can find this all on the website, so I won't bore you too much with the details, but the whole point of the Student Advisory Program is for our faculty to be who they thought they needed when they were younger, right? We all wanted somebody to confide in, an adult, somebody that we could trust, and so what we did at Immaculate, we are very big on not only having one person, but every single adult in the building is somebody that our young ladies can go to, and that is just remarkable. And what I mean by that is every single teacher in the building, and actually staff as well, so faculty and staff and administration are certified for 3 years in mental health training. And what that means is that not only the guidance counselor is prepared to handle situations or mental health wellness incidents or situations, so are our teachers, so are our staff members, our secretaries. So there is nothing that your daughters can't share with us and that we're not able to address properly. And that's part of the Student Advisory Program and the concept behind it, that we really multiplied that guidance piece of it and that advisory. I also want to talk to you a little bit about Collegiate Academy Program. Collegiate Academy Program is an excellent opportunity for your young women, and if your daughters are already participating in it, awesome. If they're not, please consider it. For just $150 a class, They're able to take courses over at Felician University right here on our property and also Rutherford campus, and then they are able to transfer those credits nearly to every college or university once they leave Immaculate. We've had students such as Kiana Duncan graduate with 30 college credits by the time she actually graduated Immaculate. She is now in law school. She is actually someone who is very proud to be a part of our new reestablished Alumni Association, and she is the first student from IC to graduate with that many college credits. So I really encourage you to have that conversation with your daughters and express to them, to talk to guidance, to talk to us, because it's just an amazing opportunity. So not only are within the tuition that you are paying to come to Immaculate for a high school education, your daughter would ultimately leave Immaculate also with a potential college education. Okay, we are also looking into right now in the works a partnership with Felician with another program called Felician Accelerated Academy. What that is we are really hoping and pushing for this program to potentially be available starting fall of next year. And what that would look like is high school students could graduate high school and potentially have a college degree, whether it's associate's or a bachelor's degree, in 6 years. This is something that is not seen in many other, actually to my knowledge, any other high school in the area. Other high schools do have online courses and credit courses, college credit courses that you can take, their children can take, but not to this extent. And also being able to sit in that actual college environment. So I urge you to just express that to your daughters, and then if you have any questions, reach out to us. The Dean of Academics also was a huge part of the strategic plan. And so we hired a Dean of Academics, Ms. Kelly Koval, who's here with us tonight. You're going to hear from her very shortly. And we also hired a Director of Institutional Advancement, Dr. Sonalise Baker, who's been with us now 2 years, or 3, yep, 2 years. And she actually is in charge of major gifts, donations, and alum connections. And it is just wonderful to have them both on board with us. That was, again, part of the strategic plan to make Immaculate Conception really stand out, but also to just better our programs overall. So Ms. Koval is also our associate head of school, my assistant, basically principal, right? And associate head of school is a fancy term for assistant principal, just like head of school is. And Ms. Koval is really just a wonderful human being, and the Dean of Academics. The role really encompasses curriculum, academics, and mentoring of the teachers. So if you have any questions about classes and teachers, please reach out to Ms. Koval as she handles all of that, okay? The Alumni Association was also part of the strategic plan. We've always had an alumni association, but in recent years, it has not been as strong as we had hoped it would be. So we are rekindling a lot of old friendships with alum, but we are also reaching out to the younger alum who maybe just graduated college or are in college, and there has been an overwhelmingly amount of communication and feedback from them. If you are an alum sitting in this room today and coming on Saturday to our meet and mingle, you'll see a lot of their faces there. And it's just refreshing to see that we have teachers in the building that are alum, we have coaches, our new softball coach is an alum, and they're just coming back to their home. And that's really something, you know. You sometimes hear students say that they will never go back to their high school once they get out, right? And they can't wait to get out of high school. I was one of them. I went to public school, and I didn't have the best experience. So that's why it's my passion to make this be the best experience possible for your daughters. And I've seen the other side of it, so I understand what they need. And so it's just very exciting to see that we have such a support system and that the alum really want to be a part still, especially in their busy lives. And if you don't follow us on social media, please do, because you can see them highlighted and what they're up to in their careers. And that's just a testament to their parents, but also to their Immaculate Conception High School education, empowering them to be young women of leadership, commitment, and service. I already, because I get so excited and I have no patience, I already talked about this, so I don't even need this slide. But you can see the student advisory program is called Time for Us Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, just to give you a little bit more detail, your daughters are in an advisory group with mixed grade levels. So that means it's not a class, they're not getting a grade, it's just a 35-minute period every Tuesday where advisors make time for them. And they learn things like college career readiness, mental health, the importance of not vaping, drug awareness, and so many topics come from them. They tell us, and then they get more engaged and become part of that conversation. And again, just a little bit more on the advisory, bringing those strong relationships. Our faculty and staff If they don't have your daughter in class, let's say a teacher for this semester, they may be her advisor. So now they're getting to know more adults in the building, building stronger relationships, and maybe getting to meet that teacher before they even have them in the classroom. So another perk of that student advisory program. Just some important topics to discuss as far as rules and policies. The handbook is available for you via email. You should have received that. And just a friendly reminder, if you have not already signed the Hello Signed form, please do. That's just an acknowledgement that you have received our handbook and you understand what's in it, okay? I'm going to abbreviate some of it for you, especially, not that the entire handbook is not important, it is, but there are many details. I'm going to abbreviate for you the main points, okay? So dress code, you can see by the picture what the dress code is. And your daughters are already doing an amazing job because they all showed up the first day of school orientation in the proper dress code. Every single one of them. And I love it, but I always remind them, please keep that going. Sometimes throughout the school year, it gets a little comfortable. They start to feel, oh, now I don't have to wear the proper dress code anymore. And we ask for your help with that. So if you notice that they're not in proper dress code as they're getting out of the car, out of the house, please remind them, because it does become a very, a tasking, it becomes a repetitive conversation that maybe just would have taken in 2 seconds before we left, right? And we don't want to keep nagging them about things like dress code, because we want them to enjoy their experience and not be focused on necessarily what they're wearing all the time, right? Also with the dress code, the socks do have to be knee-high. We do notice that a lot of the students tend to wear them down, or they don't wear the knee-high socks. So if you could please just remind them of that as well. All uniform information is also on our website under Student Life. As far as detentions, no students are ever going to get detention, I promise, and they never do. But if they do, detention is served after school, just so you're aware. And if your daughter did get a detention for something that was very serious, for example, any type of theft or plagiarism, we would reach out to you, okay? For minor infractions like being late to school, you would be aware of that because you get letters from us monthly about their attendance, but we wouldn't call you for those little things because we are also trying to make them realize they need to be young adults and be responsible for their actions. But of course, if it was something serious, and help them get to that point, we would let you know, okay? If for whatever reason a student is caught, and I just need to state this so we're all on the same page, if a student is caught with any drug possession, alcohol of any kind, or vaping paraphernalia, we know that vaping is a trend now, and we've taken many steps to educate them. We have speakers come in, we talk about it in the advisory, but aside from anything, we focus on the health and why it's not healthy for them and the unknowns of it. So we do ask that you just be reminded, if they are caught with anything like that, it is required that they are mandatory, they are tested, okay, drug tested. And we need to see the results in order for them to be back in school. If the results did come back positive that they were indeed on any type of drug or substance, we would have then to call you and the student would be expelled from school. So I just need to make that clear that that's our policy, okay? The climate, culture, and discipline, you've heard me say it already. It's very much, and the ladies have already been spoken to about this, see something, say something, positive, discipline approach, climate and culture. We hope that we never get to the point where there has to be, Saturday detention or suspensions, but there are times when that does happen, okay? So Saturday detentions, again, and expulsions are for things that are more serious in nature, and you can find that list of code of conduct infractions in the handbook. Okay, it is now thank you again so much for your time. Mrs. Kadersha is our school nurse. I know everybody probably already knows that because you get so many emails and communications from her. But I promise you that we are firm believers that, the more we communicate, the more successful and better a transition your daughters will have. So we want to stay safe, and we want Mrs. Kadersha to always have that line of communication with you and your daughters, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about the COVID plan that you've already received and some friendly reminders, okay? Thank you so much. Mrs. Kadersha.
Thank you, Mrs. Catrona. Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Kadersha. Just real quick, I have 3 daughters. One just graduated this past year. I have a junior, and I have an 8th grader that's coming next year. So I'm one of you, too. I should be on that side of the audience as well. So welcome to IC for those of you that don't know me. Just going to open up the slides so I can copy. So I follow up on all absences. This year, because of COVID, we do need reasons for all absences, so please call by 8:30 in the morning and let me know about that. Any student with 8 or more unexcused absences will potentially lose credit for that course, and that won't be a surprise for you because we email updates about the absences. Doctor's notes will excuse the absence and other things like college visits, but just be in open communication with us. I'll just kind of skip around. If your child does not feel well during the day, please have them come to me and not call you first. There's been times where the parent is already here to pick up the child and I didn't even know they were sick, so please remind them that they should come to see me. Early dismissals, please plan them ahead of time so we have time to plan and not interrupt the classes as much as possible. No medications in school. Everything is on the website with the rules for medications, even Tylenol and Advil. We need written paperwork and all the processes to be complete. Everything's in detail on the website. Okay, so normal, not COVID. If your daughter is sick, they have to be 24 hours fever-free, not counting having just taken Tylenol or Advil, and no vomiting or diarrhea for 24 hours. COVID is different, and we'll go over that. I'm gonna take this off. Can I take this off? Because I can't read with my neck. Okay. So students may not leave school for any reason without seeing the nurse or a member of administration. In an emergency, we will definitely call you right away. Any new health problems, medications, allergies, anything like that, please let me know, just so we can keep their health record up to date. Felician University, we have nursing students here this year. 2 to 3 days a week, I'm going to have 2 nursing students, and they're going to be working on educational pamphlets for the students, which is great because I'm busy contact tracing and that stuff, so they're going to be able to pick up that slack. Any topics that your daughters would like to learn about, I know right off the top for teenagers, nutrition is great, exercise, health, vaping, all that stuff. But if you have any topics that you'd like discussed, please let me know. Next. All right, so COVID. It's still here, whether we like it or not, it's still here. We know that SARS-CoV-2 is the virus that causes the disease of COVID-19, and we do know that it's spread through close contact with the respiratory droplets. Everybody knows that. Last year, the in-school transmission was just about 0. I say just about because there's one person that was quarantined that we can't account for how they got COVID. Every other case either had a family member at home that had COVID, or they were on a sports team together where there were no masks and such. So there was no in-school transmission. So people that were quarantined and went home to watch for symptoms did not develop it, just about. So vaccinated individuals can still be infected. We are hearing about those breakthrough cases, but they are usually mild. The vaccines are important to prevent severe illness and death. But if a vaccinated person does spread the virus to a high-risk unvaccinated person, they can still get quite ill. So that's why we all have to go back to the masks right now while the numbers are high, hoping that won't be forever. Or, well, it definitely won't be forever, but hopefully sooner than, I'll be the first one, I'll tell you this, when we're allowed to not wear masks, I'm gonna be the first one to change the rules for us. So just some terms to remind you, the infectious period is the time when you're contagious. That's 2 days before symptoms begin. So that's what we do the contact tracing from 2 days before symptoms begin, okay? And it ends after 10 days. You're most infectious on that first day of symptoms, so have your daughter stay home if they're not feeling well. If you remember one thing, that's the thing. Don't come to school sick. The incubation period is the time from when they are infected or exposed to when they start to show symptoms, and that is still 2 to 14 days. Most people show symptoms in 5 days. Okay, so the difference between isolation and quarantine. Isolation is if you have COVID-19 and you need to isolate for 10 days. That's when you're contagious. Quarantine is if you've been in close contact with an individual who tested positive, and that still is being within 6 feet for 15 minutes, okay? Vaccinated individuals right now that are close contact do not need to quarantine as long as they have no symptoms, but they should watch for symptoms. Unvaccinated individuals that are close contacts will need to quarantine. Right now, with New Jersey being yellow, it's for 7 days with a negative test at day 5, or 10 days with no test. If the numbers go up to orange, then we have to go back to the 14 days of quarantine. As you know, because you got a letter today, everybody will be aware when there's a case in the school of COVID. A student does not need to quarantine this year. This is new. Last year, for those of you that are new, we had to quarantine the entire classroom. So if someone in the front left had COVID, even the person in the back right had to be quarantined, even if they weren't friends and near each other in any way. That changed this year. If they're both correctly wearing their masks, they do not need to be quarantined. And that again goes back to the transmission that I talked about. I'm very data-driven. The in-school transmission wasn't happening, so we can loosen up the quarantines, and the Department of Health in New Jersey supports that. So this year, remote learning is only available for those that are quarantined due to exposure or those that must be in isolation. There's no remote learning for any other reasons. Travel quarantines are still in effect. We follow the CDC guidance for that. So out of the immediate local area, you still have to quarantine if you're unvaccinated for 10 days or 7 days with a negative test. And that would be unexcused absences for travel. So I'll go over this quickly. I know we're getting a little short on time, but this is the Swiss cheese model. I think it explains COVID protection and in-school transmission the best. The virus will still get through if we just wear masks, or we just social distance, or we just clean and hand wash. But the layers together help prevent the virus from spreading in the school. So at IC, the Swiss cheese model, what we're doing is all of these things. Staying home when sick, like I said, screening, which will be done at home this year, hand washing, respiratory etiquette, obviously, coughing, covering your coughs and sneeze, masks for all while indoors or outdoors in large groups, distancing 3 feet, cleaning, disinfecting, opening windows, testing for anybody who's symptomatic. And another side note there, if anybody needs to be tested, please let me know and have the students stay home until we get the results, even if they're feeling better. Okay, so screening this year, this is also in the form that was emailed over the summer. Same questions as last year. We still have posters around the school to remind everybody every morning. Have your daughter ask themselves these questions, check her temperature. If you can answer yes to anything, give me a call. If she gets headaches all the time, and we know that, she doesn't have to stay home just for a headache, but we need to discuss it. Hand washing, I'm not even gonna bother, but you know, full 20 seconds. Masks, unfortunately, for vaccinated and unvaccinated right now. All times in the school building, unless they're sitting down at lunch. If they're at lunch and they're getting up to go get something, the mask has to go back on, and we're working with the teachers for everybody to be on the same page. Please encourage it at home. You will be getting emails if I get lists from teachers of the students that are not wearing the mask correctly. We really just need the mask on correctly. And they won't need to be quarantined if they're wearing it correctly, but they will need to be quarantined if they're not. Wash their masks too. A lot of them never wash them. I see the same one every day. Ugh. Okay. If the doctor recommends a flu shot, please get a flu shot. We are having a flu shot clinic here. The date is October 5th. You'll get lots of information on that. It's going to be at the end of the school day so that parents can come as well. We're going to have a sign up. You'll get lots of info. As far as the COVID vaccine, do your own research. Speak with your doctor. A lot of people that are not comfortable with it, I ask if they spoke with their doctor and they haven't. Speak with your doctor. Do your own research. Use good reputable sources. Don't get your Facebook news. And do it when you feel comfortable. Okay, there's no pressure. Right now it's not mandated in schools, but it is FDA approved now. So again, no judgment, but I do have a lot of information about it. If anybody needs advice or they want to speak about it, I'm available. Communicate me, wait, go back. Sorry. Communicate at all times. That's it, I guess. Stress and anxiety is not good. Let them get good night's sleep, please. They're all so tired and they eat chips for lunch, and someday when COVID's not here, I'll deal with all the nutrition problems that our teenage girls have. But if anybody needs anything, please feel free to call me, okay? Thank you.
Good evening. I am Nicole Menil. I know many of you in here, actually all of you in here know me as the Director of Enrollment Management. It's always a pleasure working with the prospective students who are now freshmen, who are very happy and excited to be here. But I also this year going to be the Director of Student Events and work alongside my colleague, Ms. Tara Connor, who is the Coordinator of Student Events. We're going to be working extremely close to provide the girls with the best high school experience. Aside from academic student advisory, a big part of high school is having those events that really help them bond and come together. Unfortunately, last year with COVID, it was very hard to host these events, but this year we are very excited to bring some of these events back. They will be COVID safe, and I did mention this to the students, and I will mention it to you tonight. everything in our school goes along with the CDC guidelines, as you know. So these events are planned out for our girls, but at any time, these events could change or dates could change depending on the guidelines. But these events are put on our calendar for now, and we're really excited to host some of these awesome things that we have planned. So we have school dances, we have yoga nights, we're gonna have a movie night on October 4th. It's a Monday, we're gonna be showing Matilda. We have pumpkin picking happening in October, pep rallies, class trips, many events after school with working with our amazing class advisors, but after school hours as well in the evening. So the girls are really happy. They have learned about these events at orientation and they're really excited. We will have hopefully the senior prom, junior prom, and the semi for the freshmen and sophomores, which will happen in the spring. So again, in order for them to have the best high school experience, we know that these events are crucial and we're really excited to bring them back for the girls. We also are planning our first fashion show, and I'm going to let Ms. Connor speak a little bit about that.
So Nicole and I, as she said, we are doing our first fashion show with the girls. We sent out email communication over this summer asking for interest with the upperclassmen. So if your girls are interested, push them to do it. If they're on the edge, push them to do it. We need help behind the scenes as well as walking. So if walking is a little bit out of their comfort zone, we will absolutely take the extra set of hands. We'll also be doing a tricky tray portion of the event also. We are accepting donations. We have been soliciting. So if anyone has any outside sources or resources, please email me or Ms. Minio. We would be more than happy to reach out to those. And just look out for more emails. I apologize in advance for the amount of emails, but we are really looking forward to something fun in the winter.
Thank you so much, Ms. Connor. We are currently, the tickets will start being sold November 1st, but I do have to mention that we already have 65 seats reserved. So if you are interested in attending the fashion show, I encourage you to email Ms. Connor and I with an estimate of a number of people you would be bringing, because we are anticipating and very excited to say that this event will most likely be sold out, especially with so many of our girls modeling in it. So you can email me or Ms. Connor, and we'd be happy to reserve some seats for you, and then in November you can actually purchase the tickets. I do have to say, in regard to the events, we always want our student feedback. We will constantly be sending surveys to them throughout the year. Our advisors already have sent them surveys in regard to class trips, but we want their feedback. We want to be able to give them, like I said, the best high school experience, so we really want to hear from them and what they would like to do over the school year in regard to events. We are always here, Ms. Connor and I, to support the girls, but also to support you as well. I have to put my enrollment management hat on and say we are having an open house for any sisters, friends, cousins coming up the ladder looking for high schools. We are planning an in-person open house event on October 7th and 21st. So I would appreciate if you could spread the word, share our Facebook posts, and help us really we always call ourselves a hidden gem, but we're not so hidden anymore. So please spread the word about Immaculate Conception High School. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Mr. Wada?
Thank you, Ms. Minio. Clip that back on. All right, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mr. Michael Wada. I am a lot of you know me as the Performing Arts Director, but I am also the IT Coordinator and the Local Safe Environment Coordinator. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about those two things more so tonight. Real quickly, I know we're running short on time here, a little bit about our technology side, especially for our newer parents. I'm sure you've heard Plus Portals is our main resource where you're going to check your students' grades and how they're doing in their classes. You should have gotten an email at some point from Plus Portals saying, here's how you can log in, and click on this link and you can put in a password. Right before I came in here to talk, I went through, and anybody who hasn't been on Plus Portals before, I resent that email to you. So if you've never been on Plus Portals or you don't know how to get on Plus Portals, check the email that you would have provided to the school when you registered, and you should have a link to get on there. If you do not, or you have trouble, or you don't remember your password, or you need help with Plus portals, please let me know. Please email me, because we want you to be a part of your daughter's education. We want you to be able to check on her grades, see how she's doing and all that stuff, okay? So if anyone needs any help with that, let me know. Same thing with the communications. If you're not getting our text messages or our emails from the school, please let myself know, or the guidance department or the main office. Call us, let us know that you're not getting those text messages or those emails, because that's also very important. We want to make sure we have an open line of communication between the parents, guardians, and the staff. Okay? So please, if you're not getting those things, let us know. Tech integration and our student devices. So as you know, right now we're a BYOD school, bring your own device school. So a lot of your daughters have come in with their laptops, and that's great. Laptops, tablets, cell phones, not so much, not a great learning tool. Laptop or a tablet are the better devices to have, and we are trying to use those in the classroom. When you meet with your teachers later, you'll see how they're integrating them into their curriculum, integrating them into the classroom, getting away from paper, trying to do more stuff online, on forums, more collaboration between the students using G Suite, which is the one below. That's our Google Suite. Okay, so all of your students have a Google email, and that's at ICHS.org. And they have access to sheets, docs, all the stuff, kind of similar to Microsoft Office, but all online, and the students can collaborate and share their work with each other. Okay, so we really are trying to build technology into the classroom, but that requires your daughter to have a working device that they can use. We do have some Chromebooks that we have, so if you're having trouble getting a device for your daughter, or their device isn't working very well, we do have a very limited number at this moment. We're working on getting more, but we do have some Chromebooks available. So if that's something that you need to discuss with me, you can give me a call. The other thing, the food services, is sort of also falls under my purview. So if you have not yet, we have our lunch pre-order system. We don't make a lot of extra lunches during the day. So if your daughter wants to order lunch, you should go onto our website. And in the upper right of our website, it says food services. There's a little fork and a knife. And if you click on that, you'll be able to pre-order your food and pay online with a credit card. And that way, when your daughter comes down for lunch, the food will be already prepackaged. It'll have her name on it, and she'll be able to pick it up. Okay, we are working, we do have some prepaid cards that we're working to activate over the next week. So if a credit card or something is not something that you want to be using, you can send cash with your daughter to school, or you can come into the school or check, and we can load that money onto like a little prepaid debit card that'll work online for the food services website. So that way you can bring cash in, but you can still go online and pre-order. Because right now you can't pre-order unless you're using a credit or a debit card. Okay? So if that's something that your daughter is interested in, or you guys are interested in, you can send the money with your daughter to school and see Mrs. Laverty, and she'll be able to help you out with that. So I'm always here, so if anyone needs any questions, tech-related, down in the media center, you can give me a call during the day or email me, and your students, most of them already have come down numerous times, which is great. I don't mind helping, and that's what I'm here for. So just real quick, on the other side, the safe environment stuff, Ms. Koval, thought it would be great if we talked, just to let you know, we take safety very important. Safety is very important here. Mrs. Catrona talked about it earlier. Safety is our #1 concern and our priority for your students. So we make sure that everyone, when they join, is background checked. We do Empowering God's Children annually, which is a program that your daughter participates in. That teaches them about safe environment, safe adults, how to report things that they find, inappropriate, things like that. So it's a course designed to teach our students how to be safe. Okay, and we do that every year. We're doing that this year. You'll get an email about that. If it's something you want to opt out, you are welcome to. However, I think it's a great program, and it's designed to help your daughters be safe. I guess that's basically it. So I know I tried to do that really fast, but if anyone has any questions or needs me, you can email me, mwada@ichslodi.org. Great. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I was told to make this very short because we're running out of time in here. So I speak pretty fast. You could ask some of your daughters in class. So I'm going to highlight some of the things in athletics. You'll see they'll go up on the board in a second that obviously I think are important. If I miss anything, you can see me later in the school store. I'll be in there from 8 to 8:30. First off, all state championships are back for all sports. So the spring sports had all their titles last year. Unfortunately, winter basketball was cut short and a couple other sports in the fall. This year, the state will be having state tournaments and they will be at their regular locations, so that's good. It's one improvement that they made. Outdoor masks are not required for sports, but they are mandatory when we are indoors. So if your daughter plays an indoor sport, you are required to go in with a mask. Please don't give the other facilities any problems because they will just kick you out. I've seen it happen last year. A lot of people were getting thrown out of games just because they didn't want to wear their mask. Communication with the athletic department. I think this is probably one of the biggest things to highlight. First off, I'm implementing this new 24-hour rule after games. And basically, what that is basically after any of the games, a basketball game, soccer match, any of them, within 24 hours, if something happened during the game or you got a little heated during the game, that goes for coaches, students, basically anybody that was involved in that game, I would rather have communication go out to the coaches after the 24 hours. Because during that 24 hours, a lot of us say things that we don't mean. A lot of coaches sometimes, get emails that the next day after 24 hours, people are apologizing, whether it's a student or something, because they got in the game, they lost the game, the game didn't go the way they wanted. So I think this will help some of the miscommunication between our coaches and student athletes and parents as well, including myself. The other thing I just want to touch up on real quick is playing time. I guess in the past, a lot of parents or coaches would reach out, to the AD. When it comes to playing time, the coaches are the expert in that sport. So if you're coming to me first, if it's the coach coming to me or a parent coming to me, I can't really talk to you about that situation yet. So I just want to be straight up honest. We're trying to get your daughters to the collegiate level, and certainly at the college level, a college coach is not even going to talk to the parent. So we treat our programs basically the same way. If it's playing time, I would like your daughters to go to the coaches and talk about playing time. Now, let's say this happens 2, 3, 4 times, and the coach is not budging, and it does become a serious issue. That's when I should be getting involved. I shouldn't be really getting involved the first conversation about playing time. It's high school sports, and the next level is collegiate, and we got to make sure that your daughters are ready to play at that next level. And those conversations don't happen at that college level, so it's not going to happen, at the high school level. But obviously, if there's multiple times where the coach, I'll be monitoring practice, and that's happening, then obviously the situation will change. But first thing I would like you guys to do is definitely have your daughters talk to the coach personally. I know a lot of them seem scary. They look at him as a coach or her as a coach. But just have that conversation. Sometimes it's just that conversation. It doesn't really even go further than that. So really that's one major thing that I just want to say in the athletic department because, obviously, I also coach at Lodi. I've been dealing with that at Lodi, IC, both places, and it's just something that I want to make sure that we can bring our athletics up to that next level. In order to get them to that college level, they have to think like a college athlete now. Next up, we got 2 new runners. One new runner. We had a runner last year. So for the van transportation, the good thing is all athletics are basically using the vans too. So the soccer team's getting to their games, the volleyball teams are getting to their matches. So we have pickups and drop-offs. Now, if a bus doesn't pick up your daughter, that was probably because, I'm going to be honest, your daughter said she was getting a ride home or something, and that van wasn't scheduled there because everybody said they were going home. So definitely talk to the coach first. Make sure that if your daughter needs a ride back, she's getting that ride back. We have our drivers out basically all night. I think last night they were out until like 8, 9 o'clock, and they're always on call and ready to go. Last thing for the bus transportation and bus routes, starting probably next week, each van will have their own number. So just before, let's say your daughter's sick that morning, she could just text into that number before 6:15 and just say, I'm not taking the bus today, the AM or PM route, and then we'll know that we can let those bus drivers out early in case it's like the first stop on that route. So that's just one communication that I want to also make sure that we just clear up. Next up, we have Ms. Kelly Kova. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fava. Hi, everyone. How we doing? Is everyone excited to be here? Yes, I know that they put me last because I love to talk about education and academics, and they're like, cut it short, okay? So I'm going to do that. As you know, I know pretty much all of you in this room, and those of you on the computer because I met all of your daughters when you enrolled. It's really important for us here at IC to have that open line of communication to ensure the perfect academic experience for the young ladies that come here. We want them to be prepared for college. We want them to be excited about learning. Someone asked me yesterday, what can you say is the best aspect of IC? And I can say proudly, and I have like 10 slides, but I'm only showing you one tonight, is the individualized, personalized education and attention that every single one of your daughters gets. Okay, how many of you agree with that? Yeah, I want to hear you. Can I hear you? All right. I want you to believe that, I want you to know it, and I want you to feel that when you go into the classrooms tonight and meet our amazing teachers, okay? If you need anything ever, you can reach out and call anyone at this school, and we are here for you, your daughters and all of their family members, okay? So, with that being said, I am not going to talk very long. We have lots of awesome programs going on. You'll hear about them throughout the year. We are going to share this presentation with you on our website so you can look at the rest of the presentation and soak everything in that you learned already tonight. Does anybody have any questions that you heard tonight before we move forward? Anything at all? I want you to know that I adore every single one of your girls, and we will push them hard. We will make them work even harder than they ever thought that they could possibly work before, and we're going to get them ready for college. Can I get a heck yeah? Woo! Okay, all right, so with that being said, I'm skipping all my slides and I'm going over here to this last one. Our teachers are the heart of this school, and they're waiting for you in their classrooms. So everyone has a copy of your daughter's schedule. I want you to look real quick at Block A. Block A, you're gonna find the teacher's name and the room number. That's where you're gonna go first. We might be a few minutes behind because we want to make sure every teacher gets their time with you. If you have in Block A, day 1 and day 2, you're going to split that time in half. But our math and religion teachers are going to guide you in the right direction. So you will not get lost, I promise. If you feel lost, just ask somebody. Okay? We love you. Enjoy the rest of the night. Again, reach out if you need absolutely anything. Okay, thank you for those online. Make sure you log in to your Google Classroom links that were sent. They are in orange font. So follow the schedule and click on the orange font, those of you at home. We love you too. If you need anything, reach out to us.